Welcome into NFL Daily's Week 8 Power Rankings, worst to first, beginning with the New York Jets, who suck at football. Number 31, the Dallas Cowboys. They have plummeted in the Chat Sports rankings. As a reminder, team voting style here. The Cowboys look bad. I didn't have them at 31, but both Harrison and Mitch did, so I guess blame them if you want. Washington and Cardinals, 2 straight losses for the Cowboys. They look absolutely lost. They don't really seem to know what's going on. The team has quit. It is a major problem right now. If they don't get it figured out very soon, they're going to be drafting in the top 5. Now, I had this team behind the Cowboys with the Giants check in at number 30. They are 1-6, the lone win coming over Washington. Jacksonville started the year hot. They took down the Colts and haven't won a game since. They check in 29th at 1-6 as well. Now, the power rankings views, guys, they've been dropping a little bit. We're trying to give you guys what you want to watch. If you don't want power rankings anymore, just tell us. So we'll let you guys decide here. If you want us to continue to do NFL power rankings videos, I want you to like the video. If you don't want it, then just dislike it. We'll take the hint there. So please use that like button as a voting power tool right now. Number 28, the Minnesota Vikings. They are 1-5, and they're selling. Shout out Washington, by the way, the nameless football team, beating the Dallas Cowboys with ease to improve to 2-5 and hanging out a half game back in the NFC East. The Falcons, they are 1-6. Remember, they beat Minnesota head-to-head, and they should have beat Detroit, except Todd Gurley forgot he wasn't supposed to score, and then the defense collapsed because, well, that's just what Atlanta does. Number 25, the Cincinnati Bengals. They are this close to having like 3 or 4 wins this year. They just cannot close games. They're a young team, but clearly better with Joe Burrow at the helm. The Houston Texans, they are also 1-6. Boy, there are some bad football teams this year. The race for a top 10 pick, at least it's going to be interesting, I guess. Houston, I think, can be an answer to this particular question. Who is the biggest disappointment this season? And I was thinking team here, but if you want to throw in a player, feel free. I think Houston's up there. The Cowboys, the Falcons, Minnesota, all major disappointments. I'll make this the pinned comment to start on today's video, so scroll on down and get your votes in. Which team has been the biggest disappointment to you in 2020? Heck, the Eagles could be an answer here. Technically the NFC East leaders, but I mean, look, all 4 NFC East teams here are in our bottom 10 teams. 2-4-1 for Philadelphia, heavily banged up. The Chargers, they are number 22 on our list here. They are 2-4, but I'll tell you what, Justin Herbert has been awesome. He has been a fantastic quarterback for the LA Chargers. He looks the part of a franchise guy. I know the wins haven't always come because the Chargers find creative ways to lose football games, but Herbert looks like a franchise piece, and that's what matters this year for LA. He has been absolutely great this season. On the flip side, talking about quarterbacks, the Patriots and Cam Newton. Oh no. 2-4 for New England, and since Newton came back from his little bout with COVID, yeah, the completion percentage is high. This is not good. This is bad. 2 TDs, 7 interceptions. First couple games seemed like maybe Newton was going to be back, and then he's not played well at all. And the Patriots, look, you're not going to be able to get Trevor Lawrence. There's no way they out-tank the Jets to acquire that draft pick. But they might be in quarterback range early in this year's NFL draft. So they also, by the way, just lost to the Denver Broncos. They check in at number 20. They are 2-4. Got their butts beat by the Chiefs, but you know what? That tends to happen. The Lions are 3-3, just inside our top 20. They have a very favorable schedule. I mentioned this last week here on NFL Daily. They could be a surprise little playoff push these next couple of games after they snuck by the Falcons in thrilling fashion. It is Tua time in Miami. Cannot wait to see what he does in his first start in Week 8 against as the Dolphins are 3-3. A little surprise timing for sure, but this Miami team, they're contending for one of those wild card spots in the AFC. Now, we want to remind you guys that the NFL Salute to Service gear is on sale for up to 50% off. Head over to chatsports.com/salute. That'll take you right into the Fanatics page with all the Salute to Service gear currently on sale. As a reminder, proceeds go to various nonprofits that support the military community in the U.S. and across the world. So if you want to give some money to a good cause and get some awesome-looking NFL gear, including jerseys and hats too, head over to chatsports.com/salute. I will put that link both in the comments and in the description. So all you guys got to do is click and shop. The Panthers check in at number 17. I've been very impressed with the job that Matt Rule has done. He's got his team 3-4, a little bit better than I thought they were going to. Nearly beat the Saints. It is still a rebuilding year, but I like the direction Carolina's going. Number 16, the Las Vegas Raiders. Look, the schedule has been tough. I'm still willing to buy this team, but they're 500, and that matters, and that's why they're right in the middle of the pack. Number 15, the San Francisco 49ers. They're getting healthier here. That matters. They're trending up in the correct direction as well, but they check in at 15 behind the Indianapolis Colts, who have been a little bit inconsistent, but they are still 4-2. One of their losses against the Cleveland Browns. Now, Cleveland's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're beating the teams below them, losing to the better teams, namely the Steelers and the Ravens. But you know what? If you do that, you'll make the playoffs. The Browns have 5 wins. You get 4 more, you probably make it. Speaking of the playoffs, by the way, coming later today is our first look at the NFL playoff picture. Now, if you want to see that video, which we will be doing every single week, and of course will get more popular as the season moves along, hit the big red button and subscribe. We'll break down the playoff picture, where things stand. When we get to that point, clinching scenarios as well. But if you want that video, subscribe today. Number 12, the New Orleans Saints here coming off a narrow win over the Carolina Panthers. Maybe they'll get Michael Thomas back this week, or next week, or in a month, or 2 months. At some point, he'll be back, and the offense will be better for it. Number 11, the Chicago Bears. Oh, that offense just isn't very good. And you might not like what I'm saying, but we have eyeballs. Bears defense is great. The offense, Nick Foles, the running game continue to hold them back. Now, maybe you think we're hating on the Saints or the Bears, so let us know. We don't mind if you guys offer your opinion. That's what this whole show is about. So let me know in the comment section who you think we're hating on. It is disrespect season, so get your votes in. Barely cracking the top 10 here are the Buffalo Bills. They are still 5-2. This team does not look as good as it looked in the first month of the NFL season. Now, Josh Allen threw for 300 yards, ran for 61 as well, but the Buffalo Bills are struggling in terms of success here. 18 points against the Jets. They settled for all field goals here. The issue for New York, they had 4 yards of offense in the second half. Shout out the Bills' defense, and I guess also shout out the Jets for remembering, oh, wait, we have to lose this game to make sure we get Trevor Lawrence. Number 9, the L.A. Rams coming off a nice win over the Chicago Bears, 24-10. That's why the Rams ranked ahead of the Bears, duh. Bears offense didn't really show up in this particular game. Jared Goff's short check down offense, it worked fine. 24-10. This Rams defense, after moving on from Wade Phillips and kind of overhauling some of those front 7 pieces, they've actually been pretty darn good. So shout out the Rams here. They barely cracked the top 10. The Arizona Cardinals, they rank number 8 after they take down, in pretty thrilling fashion, the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. We'll talk more about that game here in just a second. But I thought that ranking this really 16 to even 4 range was pretty darn difficult because there are a lot of really good 2-loss teams and a lot of good 1-loss teams. But I want to focus on those 2-loss teams right now. Who do you think is the best team with 2 losses in the NFL? The Colts, Browns, Saints, Bears, Bills, Rams, Cardinals, and a team we haven't mentioned, which is my vote. Those are all options, so get your votes in here. The Green Bay Packers check in at number 7 here. They're 5-1 coming off the bye. They fared well. The loss, though, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is what puts the Bucs at 6 and Green Bay at 7. To answer that original question, I think the Bucs are the best 2-loss team in the NFL. Now, their game against the Raiders was great for 3 quarters, And then the Bucs woke up and were like, okay, yeah, 21 straight points in the fourth quarter to make this game look like a blowout, when to be honest, it really wasn't. The Raiders could have tied that game if they had gone for it on fourth down. Instead, they kicked the field goal, 24-20. Bucs score, turnover, oh no, game over, just like that. But Tom Brady, he's been playing quite well, folks. Scotty Miller getting involved, because turns out, I guess Scotty does know. Number 5, the Tennessee Titans. They are 5-1. A loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Certainly a tough one to stomach, but once again, it was a close game. I think this is a good Tennessee team. Need a little bit of help on defense, probably specifically in the pass rush area. The Ravens are number 4 here, 5-1. They're a good football team. Just made the big trade for Yannick Ngakoue. Can't wait to see what he does. Still waiting, technically, by the way, on the official news of a Dez Bryant to the practice squad, so at least as we film this. The Seahawks stay in the top 3 despite a loss to the Arizona Cardinals, and here's why, at least for me, I felt comfortable keeping Seattle so high. A, they've looked great this year, and that defense does need help, don't get me wrong. But their only loss of the season has come in overtime on the road in a game in which they blew a 10-point lead. And, by the way, they had a bunch of self-inflicted mistakes. There was the Benson Mayowa penalty on a field goal that gave the Cardinals a new drive and got them an extra touchdown. Maybe without that, they don't win the game altogether. They had the game-winning touchdown with DK Metcalf, but David Moore blatantly held. So Seattle, yes, they lost. They always have great games against the Cardinals. I still think they're a better football team. And if that game's at home, neutral site even, I think they win. So shout out Arizona. You're a good team too, but I'm not giving up any hope on Seattle. We're about to get into our top 2, so let me know who should be number 1 in our rankings. And there was some debate amongst the Chat Sports staff here. I think there were 2 modes of viewing the top team here. It's either who is the best team or who is most deserving of being number 1. And I think that, and this is what happened here, Harrison, for example, voted for the Chiefs at number 1, but they check in at number 2. If you're ranking Super Bowl favorites, which is not really what we're doing here, the Chiefs at 6-1 are probably your best bet. However, there's one undefeated team left in the NFL. And even though the Steelers have some issues, Big Ben's not the same guy he was in his prime. If you are undefeated after 7 weeks in an NFL season, I think you got to be number 1. You don't get to 6-0 by being bad. Like, you of course have some good luck in your favor, but I've been impressed by Pittsburgh. It's a good defense. Offense has shown promise as well. A bit inconsistent, but overall, they're 6-0. So as long as Pittsburgh is undefeated, I think they should be number 1, but feel free to chime in the comments section.